Hello friends, family, and other creatures of the sea. Welcome to a high-level game here on Data Sea between in the top right spawning as our Blue Protoss player playing for no team currently. It is Petit Drogo. And in the bottom left as our red Zerg player playing for the Shopify Rebellion. It is going to be Scarlett. ZVP on Data Sea, where the natural hatchery has been positioned on the third base, which means that there was a little bit of a block here in the early game. Two queens coming out, as well as a Stargate that is being positioned right next to the main mineral line. And that is an interesting one, actually. A lot of Protoss players, as of late, as the past 5, 6, maybe 7 months, been building their first pylon a little bit further out, their Stargate closer to the edge. Yes, it's going to get scouted faster, but it also allows your oracles to get across the map quite a bit faster. This distance, it's going to be about 2.5, maybe 3 seconds. And those are 3 seconds your oracle is going to hit the other side of the map faster. Or, if your third base is in trouble against any type of a ling run by, that oracle could potentially save your third base. That's not going to be the case here. Instead we have a Drogo just building it right next to his mineral line. Does help if you're playing against Mutalisk, because it's harder for the Zerg player to take out the Stargate, because it's not out in the open. It's not as easy of a target. Oh, here comes the Adept into the main base. It's going to try and take out a Spore Crawler, trying to take out a drone. Manages to turn into a Spore Crawler. Well, 2 drones manage to turn into Spore Crawlers. Metabolic Boost is about to finish up here. We have how many? Oh my god, 11 links. Scarlett really pushing the pedal to the metal here. Getting a lot of these links out. Perhaps wants to go for the cancel on this third base, but Drogo playing it extremely safe, keeping this Oracle at home, even preemptively kind of activating that. I'm not a huge fan of activating the Pulsar Beam immediately. That's going to be in a bit of trouble. This was a good trade here for Scarlett, as long as she moves away at this point. No, wait! This Oracle is actually empty, she can continue going. Another Oracle will be forced to activate the Pulsar Beam, and despite this being an energy for Link trade, well, I guess the Links also killed an Adept and a Probe, this feels really, really good for Scarlett. Forcing both of these Oracles to stay at home. Look at this. 1 Spore is out. Only a single Spore so far. 0 drones have gone down. And it's gonna take a while until these Oracles have usable energy back. Another Probe is going to fall. This is just straight up painful here for Drogo, who's really struggling to secure this base. 2 Stalkers are being warped in. Double gas is coming down in the natural at this moment as well. And we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen from here on out. We do have that quick +1 coming out of Scarlett. She's been really fond of that as of late. And she's one of the players that actually plays it with a slightly, how would I call it, a lower drone count, a more aggressive type of quick +1 move. Good control out of Drogo, or was potentially good control. Ends up actually not dealing all that much damage. Takes a lot of damage on 2 of the 3 Oracles, and only takes out 3 drones. Of course, it is a little bit later in the game. That's always going to be painful. Overlord not quite in a safe spot yet. The Stalkers were looking for some damage there. Will not be capable of killing it. Got close. Okay, 1 regular hatchery on a 4th base and 1 macro hatch being built in the main right now. Melee is about halfway done. We have charge, we have +1 coming in as well, and we have gateway 3 and 4 on the way too. Neither of these gateways is being built close to that 3rd base, and that actually upsets me a little bit. I really do believe that if you're going to be ever throwing down any gateways that aren't your initial 2 gateways, they should always have some type of purpose. And whether that's going to be in a wall over here at the 3rd base, or in a wall over here to stop any bailing run-bys from really coming in, I don't care that much. I just think it's really important to do that. I'm a big fan of this little wall, by the way, that Drogo is going for. Cheeky triple gateway is going to fully wall off this area. And with a simple gate trick over here, it could be completely safe against banelings, while still having a lot of space to kind of maneuver around. That is something that is just really important when you are playing against banelings, against heavy baneling builds. Scarlett only on 61 workers so far. Is not going to lose any extra workers, but still feels like she's kind of behind for no real reason. Drone count feels low. These links not capable of doing very much. Here we go, actually moving in with +1 melee. Almost feels like they would have an opportunity to fight properly against that. I mean, this is what, like, is this actually like 40-ish links? I guess if the oracles are there, you can't fight. But without the oracles there, feels like there's some potential. It's going to be straight into Storm here. Not stopping at any Archons. And look how low this drone count is. This is only 65 workers, 7 minutes in. Lurker then, Infestation Pit on the way. Now come the 13 more workers. Out for Scarlett. Oh, she already has 76 now. And then 13 more. Oh, that's mad. It's going to be a lot of workers. It's going to be like 90 workers all of a sudden. 5th base also done already. I feel like these drones should have been mining for a bit longer. These 45 links really haven't achieved very much. Didn't grant a lot of safety either. They were just kind of there. We'll have to wait what Drogo's actual plans are going to be. There is potential here for a +1 storm push. There is potential here for a quick +2 as well. And then a move out a bit later on. Gases on the fort are slightly delayed. And we have a hive coming out of Scarlett, who did throw down a lurker then. And even more, is already building the first lurkers. So this is, oh, this is a really cool style actually. This is a Ling Bane Hydra into lurker. And you might be saying, well, there's no Banes. That's correct. You only build the Banelings when you feel like you need them. So the Banelings are kind of like a last defense. In case you're being attacked pre-lurker, you're going to be using some Banelings. If you're not being attacked pre-lurker, these Banelings are never coming out. And you're going to be saving a lot of gas. Of course, after you build the lurkers, you can still always create a couple of Banelings, either for run-bys or just actually in your army composition. So it's just going to be pure Ling Hydra. And I'm curious what Scarlett's next setup is going to be over here. Is she just straight up going to attack with a lot of lurkers? That is quite common. I've not seen 10 gas yet here, despite being so many workers. Instead, we have a lot of spines, a lot of spores, just static defense in general. It's going to make the move out a little bit easier for her. Uh-oh. Hello? Do we feel that? Yep, there we go. Observer's going to get taken out here. Drogo 161 supply against 148, starts moving out, has a fleet beacon, has a Stargate on the way, or a second Stargate as well. I would love to see a +1 on the air weapons too. Just kind of get that transition going completely. This is an army that is lacking any real firepower when it comes against the, a versus lurker army. There's no immortals in here, there's no disruptors. The zealot count is very small as well. This is great against Hydra Ling Bane, or well, great. This is a fine army against Hydra Ling Bane. This is a fine army against Hydra Ling Bane. But against lurkers, I'm struggling to see how this is really going to work out here for Drogo. Scarlett is stacking still into adrenal glands as well, right now with the +1 range. Feels like she kind of is putting a lot of eggs in different baskets. It's good, because you don't want to have all of your eggs in one basket, but also means that this push that I kind of imagined isn't going to hit quite as hard as maybe she would like. Lurker's now moving forward. Ling run by is still standing over here. Just note how low the supply of Scarlett actually is. First 3 carriers are on the way already. The moment that carriers are out, often these type of setups that Scarlett is going for become a lot less valuable, because you're stuck with a lot of lurkers, which just isn't great. I mean, 11 lurkers is nice aggressively, but if you're not doing anything with it, you're just going to be losing all of your creep. The creep spread that Scarlett's been working so hard on to get going. Lurkers are trying to deal some damage here. Not quite getting it. Not quite yet, at least. I feel like this push is just too late. I feel like the window has closed. It closed about half a minute ago. Here we go. Carriers are out. Super batteries being active. Cannons will get taken out rather quickly by these links with adrenal glands, but a lot of lurkers are falling. 5th base is going to be taken out at the same time, but Drogo still practically maxed out. Is going to lose 10, 12 workers maybe, if even, and a 5th base, but that's about it. Scarlett, on the other hand, is struggling to stay maxed. We have carrier number 4, 5, and 6 coming out. Do we even have enough anti-air? Okay, this is big. This run by actually put a little bit of a dent here in the eco, but even that wasn't a massive view in any way, shape, or form in my mind. This sucked for Drogo that he lost to 16 workers, but he's still up 10 workers. He is absolutely fine. He should be capable of taking out one of these bases. What is the anti-air situation like right now? We have 5 Corruptors, 5 Hydras, 5 Queens, and 2 Vipers. That is it. Yes, there are 9 more Corruptors on the way, but there's also 6 carriers out already. They have +1. There are no upgrades at all here for these Corruptors. I honestly believe Scarlett is just pretty much dead. I mean, she's down 40 supply for no real reason. It's going to be a real struggle for her here. It actually is going to be a real struggle. Here we go. Drogo moving in right now. A couple of these Banelings will connect with the Zealots. Vipers will need to be very, very active. And one of these Oracles is going to get picked off. Attacking into lurker positions can feel rather scary, but with only 14 Corruptors, it feels like there's a timing here that Drogo might just barely be missing. Carrier 7 and 8 are out already, I think. And now Carrier 9 is popping out too. So it's going to be 9 carriers here against 14 Corruptors. That is literally it. That is all that Scarlett has when it comes to the anti-air. Look at this. 162 supply. Terrible, terrible stuff. Awful eco as well here on 66 workers. And the only thing that Scarlett can do right now is slowly but surely build up that drone count a little bit to, let's say, 74, 75, 76. Start mining from these 10 gases, get some more minerals, and then max out. Yes, it's not going to be with a massive eco behind it. There will not be a bank, but at least you can max out on an army that is going to be relatively high quality if you don't count the lurkers in it. Lurkers, of course, good defensively, but don't think you're going to be capable of doing much of anything with them. These carriers just have massive map control right now as well. These changelings are being taken out. We have this side army that is just at the same time kind of defending this 6 base over here, as well as just making sure that no 6 base is being taken for Scarlett. So kind of a double function here. More and more carriers are coming in. Up to 11 right now. That feels like... It feels like to me that Drogo is in a very good spot. He has a massive bank, has a lot of gas in the bank. The moment all interceptors come out is honestly a very scary moment for Scarlett. Scarlett's corruptor count is growing. First carapace upgrade is coming out right now as well. But up until this point we basically had +2 carriers versus 0 corruptors. Oh, it's gonna be double spire. Look at that. I didn't even notice that. That's actually really cool. That's gonna allow her to catch back up with those upgrades. Carapace level 2 starts immediately as well. Seems like Scarlett kind of found her rhythm in a way. You know, has been building the correct units. Now it's adding 7 more drones to replace some of the drones that are building spores. And Scarlett is going for a big 5 base setup and isn't doing much of anything. I almost would want to encourage Drogo here to expand a little bit quicker to bases that matter a bit more, because this feels like such a tight setup here that Scarlett has, that attacking into this without Tempest is just going too hard. Oh my god, 7 more Stargates on the way here for Drogo. It's going to go up to 10 Stargates, so reproduction of carriers, reproduction of Void Ray, Tempest is going to be very fast. Is it enough though? I really feel like we're lacking some speed. We're just lacking some speed in expanding here for Drogo. Because you see the plan that Scarlett is going for. This is a full-on defensive setup on 5 bases. You're going to be out-expanding your opponent, so what you want to be doing is you want to be taking the bases that are harder to keep later on in the game as quickly as possible. So it's a base like this. It's going to be a base like this. These are semi-neutral bases. Anyone could really take those, and if you just get even just 1200 gas from those, or let's say 2k gas in total, that would be a huge deal, because not only is it 2k gas that you're getting, it's 2k gas your opponent isn't getting. So even if you just put a Nexus down and have 6 workers per base just mining the gas, that could potentially be huge. Very often for Protoss players, gas is going to be that one resource that they are lacking. And for Zerg, well, it often is pretty much the same. Oh, whoa. Need to be so careful here with those carriers, Drogo. Of course, he isn't completely aware of that. Needs to be extremely careful with them carriers. There's no storms in this army, as changelings are being sent out all across the map. I mean, Makes some sense. We have 8 overseers. Here we go. We can get 2 abducts at the same time. Beautiful stuff. Recall's gonna be used, but it will be too late for one of them. One carrier will fall and disintegrate into the air. I think we're actually under the sea here. You see lots of fish swimming around. So it goes back to the surface. Flux veins being researched right now. And there's a couple of approaches here that Drogo can kind of go for. And I think, you know, we can evaluate it. We have plenty of time anyway. I don't think this game is going to end up anytime soon. Oh, that was a nice little surround there with the Archon. And they are going to die due to the Lurkers, but the Lurkers will also fall. Oh, one Archon actually stays alive with no HP. Now we'll end up dying to some Lynx. It's the saddest way to die for an Archon. But yeah, let's just discuss the scenarios here that Drogo can go for. So he can just keep kind of sharking around with this Carrier Void Ray Oracle Templar army. And he can just... Oh my god, he's going to lose 2 more carriers. That's actually kind of painful. Oh, Groot's moving forward as well. So not only will 1 carrier go down, 2, 3 Templar will also fall. Back to the scenarios. There could also be a mothership added in that could stay either with the army or as a surprise go to the other side, recall aggressively, take out a bunch of spores and then piss off. That is difficult to do if you're playing against 5 base, but the moment a 6 base comes into play, that becomes a lot more viable. There's a lot of space for rotations like that. Now, another plan could be to add some Tempest in and go to a lower worker count. So basically saying, hey, you have not been mining a whole lot. I'm just going to try to create a very stable game. You get like 10, 15 cannons, like 8, 9 batteries over here. Just start pushing from this angle into this Spore Crawler wall. You get some batteries on the low ground as well. Maybe add an extra Nexus. Just push forward with Tempest. Go down to 50, maybe even 45 workers because you have a bank that seems to be, you know, big enough at least. Then you get a bigger army as well. And Scarlett right now wants to still be on 66, maybe even 70 drones, so she can continue mining. She does not have a bank at all. She's been stuck on 5 bases. So that is a thing that Drogo could do. Another thing is to just kind of go around and continuously deny the 6 base while having a slightly higher worker count. So you're never really fighting, but you still have a big enough army that when it's not a fight near spores and not a fight on creep, the Protoss is just always going to be fine. It's like 83, 84, 85 workers or so. But then I really do believe that this right side base is going to be completely vital to your plan. Because if you're just expanding fast on the left side, and it's real nice that Drogo is getting these bases, don't get me wrong. Eventually it's just going to turn into a game who gets the most efficient fight. And Zerg on creep near spores is often going to get very efficient fights. There's going to be 1 Void Ray that gets taken out. Do we have more Vipers? No, not really. 2 Vipers are going back, taking some energy. To me it feels like Drogo doesn't really have an army that can fight. And Drogo also isn't rushing out these important bases. So kind of stuck in the middle here between 2 things. I don't like being stuck in the middle between 2 things. Oh, Broodlord's actually taking out every single Templar there. There's no more parasitic bombs available, but these Corruptors by themselves are good enough. Oh my god. These Neurals just a millisecond too late. Did manage to connect with all of these carriers after they got recalled. But that's not going to be good enough. Once again, a good fight though for Scarlett. Up about 4k in resources lost. And absolutely destroying this game so far. 3-3 about to finish up as well for those air units. And it's feeling a little bit frisky right now. It's going to start moving across the map. 10 Void Rays in production at a time. I don't think Scarlett quite predicted that. Because let's face it, not a lot of people would predict 10 Stargates to be there. This actually makes this entire attack a little bit more scary, a little bit more committed as well. 10 carrier, 10 Void Ray. Ultras are popping out as well. Broodlords are keeping the ground safe. Ooh. Yeah, these Ultras are never going to break that. And this is scary because Drogo still has a bigger bank. Yes, he lost a lot more, but he's also been mining a lot more. This is a nice little pre-split that we're seeing here. With that vision on this army, maybe Drogo believes that he has a chance, that he can fight. This Ultra is going to get attacked a little bit. First Parasitic Bomb is going to hit a Void Ray. Oh my god, that's a huge clump there out of Drogo. Hello? Huh? Well, lost 1 Oracle there. Managed to micro that Void Ray away eventually. Cost him all of his shields and also cost him all of his momentum there in the chase. But that isn't going to continue happening. And now this right side base kind of feels like Scarlett's territory. Doesn't feel like Drogo can just march in there and take that base, plop down 12 cannons and say, ta-da, it's mine now. I mean, he can try, but setting up after your opponent has already set up around the corner is just so extremely difficult. It's just one of these things that you can't really do in this matchup. Because we've got ourselves an old-fashioned sitting late game here in this Protoss versus Zerg. 5k versus 8k resources. Still no mothership in this army, which is a little bit disappointing. I'm a huge fan of the mothership. Makes everything invisible, gives the ability to recall, gives the ability to time warp. Invisibility cloak is so powerful. Makes it difficult to know when the Zerg can actually engage and when they can't engage. Because don't forget, with creep otherwise you're just going to have full vision until you clear the creep tumor. So it's really easy for Zerg to go into this type of engagement. You see where all the Templars are located, you know where the carriers are as well. However, if this is all invisible, life becomes way harder, and knowing which angle to move in from with the Vipers becomes very difficult. And that's why we've seen Scarlett being so efficient in these fights so far already. Look at this, pushing forward. Uh-oh, here comes an attack. 2 infestors will get fatbacked and get taken out. Ultras are playing with fire here as well. Drogo tries to take this right side base right now. I don't really see that happening. If you want to push into a setup like this, or you want to defend a setup like this, I think Tempests are just going to be a necessity. Because otherwise you can't break a wall like this. You're just going to need the Tempest. Without Tempest, no party. And trust me, Drogo wants to party. Ooh, he's not going to get the Nexus down, I think. We'll get it down actually. I thought the creep was going to block it, but creep tumors get absolutely blasted here. How many Vipers do we have? 2 Vipers still available. Once again, full vision on this army out of Scarlett. Here come the Vipers from the side. Can they get anything done? Not yet. Storm on those changelings. Just to compare the vision here for both players, right? So, StarCraft is all about information, and the moment you're down in info, it's always going to suck. This is a huge bust. This is actually a massive bust. Big recall coming in as well. That means that this base will be taken out, or should be capable of being taken out. You have a wild goose chase with these corruptors at the same time. Ultras manage to stay alive. If you bust this base, it becomes completely impossible to hold this side as well, because this base is pretty much the entrance to the other bases. Yeah, there are a lot of cannons here, but Ultras don't actually care too much about cannons, especially if you mix in a couple of links, a couple of Banelings. Live often is just going to be fine. Now these Ultras, they rotated once again to the other side of the map and indeed take out this kind of sad attempt out of Drogo to try and take that right side base. Pool is being rebuilt right now on the bottom right. Scarlett already preparing to lose the main base actually, and at the same time should probably preparing to take out Drogo's main base, because Drogo's focus is going to be on the far left side with a recall used very recently, and now all of a sudden I think this base is going to be quite vulnerable. We see Drogo moving every single unit over towards that right side, and Void Race first. There is some potential here to do this type of run by and then have the Corruptors hiding nearby with the Vipers, of course. I think that is indeed what Scarlett is planning on doing right now. Broodlords are out on the map. We really have 2 armies that can deal some damage now. We have a rotation towards the left side. Look at that. Kind of cool to see. Wouldn't mind seeing a couple of extra cannons being added here in the wall for Drogo. Maybe a battery or 2 as well. Overall, the resources lost heavily favoring Scarlett, who is up almost 10k. In the resources lost. That is a rare sight, honestly. Spire already being built on the bottom right. Scarlett is very experienced in these types of late game situations. Knows that waiting is a very valuable skill to have. That patience tends to be good. She sends in another run by here towards the left. All of these batteries. I mean, there's just not enough damage output to really deal with that. Even if the batteries keep everything alive a little bit longer, you're never gonna get through that thick shield or the thick shell of the Ultralisk skin. Oh, here comes one abduct, and that's indeed one Void Ray that's gonna get one blasted. Ooh, that's kind of cute. That was a short burrow. It's almost like swimming underwater, but we are underwater as well already. So this is under the ground, under the water. Even better. Oh, that was an Oracle. When oracles die, they go out in Kind of like a blaze of glory, and like all types of disco lights coming out. Looks very cool. Cool way to die. Oh my god, that was some terrible fungals. At least the first one. Second one's pretty big. Third one's pretty big as well. Vipers moving in. That seems like a bit much. Another fungal is going to hit this though. It feels like these Templars should not stay alive for much longer. Hello, Banelings? No way. Scarlett, complete miscontrol. Had a free opportunity to clear every single Templar here. Misses it. Oh no. Like, these Banelings definitely would have connected with all of them Templar. And then one more fungal and you have a winning fight perhaps. Instead of that, this game is going to continue on. A couple of these Corruptors moving in. Changelings being sent out as well. We see basically Scarlett just sending in the Changelings to figure out where the army is. That is one dead carrier and one Overseer will have to die for it. But no wait, did the Overseer live? Overseer lived and the Void Ray died. Where's our Baneling Ultra army over here? It's going to bust this left side right now. There's a lot of cannons. At this point, there's so many cannons. I'm not even sure anymore if this can break it. An army this small. Maybe it can. Maybe it can. Maybe it definitely can. Oh, look at the Ultra being stuck. Also being a little idiot here. Hello, Ultra. Oh my god. Ultra is being a massive idiot here. Banelings could have connected way faster with those cannons and with those batteries. Did not happen. Void Rays coming in to the rescue. I think Scarlett should be spotting a pattern here. Is that every single time an Ultralisk Baneling army goes somewhere, the Void Rays move in first. And that is obviously not a very great thing. Because the Corruptors could kind of anticipate that. Or even Fungal Boys could anticipate that. There's a couple of these Templars in a prism here, which I really like. I think that's an extremely good move. I'm still just missing a Mothership with this composition. Such a huge bonus. The ability to mass recall to the other side. The ability to completely cloak one area or to completely cloak your army is just so huge. And not seeing that is... yeah, it's a little bit painful, honestly. I think that is... the Mothership is one of the only reasons why the Protoss army can trade well in the late game. You remove that reason from your army. All of a sudden, you're almost never going to be trading well. Once again, Scarlett moving in. 2 Ultras, 10, 12 Banelings. This seems to be kind of that... oh, that was a risky one. This seems to be the magic setup here that Scarlett is going for. Now try to get one of these carriers. Will get one, loses a Viper. Takes a lot of damage on a lot of these Corruptors. That's kind of a big deal. And maybe right now, Drogo says, hey, this is our timing. This is my one shot that I have. If you have a little bit of damage on these Corruptors, if you're out of energy on the Vipers, maybe I could go in right now. Even if it's not a whole lot of damage on all of these Vipers, it is still significant. I think most of them actually took like 40, 50 damage or so against that Storm. That's kind of big. I mean, that's damage that you don't need to deal again. Any damage you can deal before the fight is obviously going to be huge. Corruptors have 200 HP. It's actually mental. You don't really realize it, but they have a lot of health. They really do. Void Rays as well, of course. This bad boys at 100, 150. Good lord. Fungal Parasitic Bomb cleans them up real nice, so don't worry too much about that. Carriers moving in right now. We're looking for some type of... Corruptors moving in. We're looking for some type of carrier. Kind of snaking around. Oh, Fungal Boys? No, not going to be ready. Not going to be in time. You have 3 Ultras out. Once again, I think this base is just going to get busted at some point in the near future. Every single time Drogo kind of wants to move forward here, start working on some of that creep. These Ultras and these Lings and these Banelings just move towards the left side. Start going to town over there. It's really funny. I wouldn't even mind if Scarlett pushes a couple of Spores a bit further up, puts the Broodlord Infestor Corruptor army there, then uses the Ling Ultra to bust this type of base and then go for the production. Production is really expensive to rebuild. I mean, 10 Stargates, that's not cheap. Fleet Beacon, Templar Archives, all of that crap, even things like a Cybercore you want to rebuild. So yeah, I'm definitely a fan of a move like that. We see Drogo is already running kind of, well, not kind of, he is running out of resources, and these are going to be his last gases that are mining. Another, what is it, 1300 gas or so, 1200 gas that's going to come out. I don't believe that's going to be... is it going to be enough? So sure, there's still 2.5k here. There's still... per gas, by the way, so it's like 5k. Then we have like 2k over here. So 7k more gas for Scarlett. This base empty. So they're actually going to end at pretty similar gas counts, honestly. Overall army value right now, slightly favoring Scarlett with a plus 2k on the gas count. Because of the Infestors, the Broodlords, the Vipers, just everything in the army really. The army is really expensive. So if you could take out, let's say 1500 or 2k gas by taking out these Stargates, and especially doing it with units that don't cost gas, that would be a massive deal. That would be a huge deal. I really do believe that Scarlett should be figuring out this pattern. That the moment the run-by army goes somewhere, every single time so far, we've seen these Void Rays kind of come in head first. Uh-oh, here we go. This is going to be a cheeky little Nurgle, and actually managed to feedback the death. I think 2 Templar, or maybe even 3 Templar. Didn't quite see how many. Okay, Templar has 3 kills, so it might have actually been 3 Templar with that feedback. That was huge. Imagine being this Templar, right? This one over here, on the ground. You just saw 3 of your friends get feedback by this. Oh yeah, they're actually leaving him behind. It's like, ah, no way, buddy. This is over. He's gonna let it patrol. You've betrayed the army. You're not allowed in anymore. Stay out, you prick. I can't believe he's actually patrolling it over here. It's kind of messed up. He wasn't being himself. Surely you need to keep that in mind, Drogo. What is this? This is what you do with a probe, not with a Templar. Oh, Templar dies. I feel like Scarlett was a little bit harsh on that Templar as well. They do some good work for her. I feel like both parties had a reason to kind of help that guy out, but neither did. Fell in the cracks of the system. It's impossible to get out. Once you're in the system, you can't get out anymore. Actual facts. Poor Templar. Another poor thing here is going to be this cybernetics core, and the pylon and everything else. Ooh, Lings coming in here. I like that the Ultras stay home. Come on, show me the move with the Corruptors. There we go. Corruptors moving forward. This is a small Ling attack with potentially big consequences. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. There's a changeling in this army, perhaps from the side. 1, 2 carriers, and a 1, and a 2, and a 3. And a 1, and a 2, and a 3. What gets taken out on the side of Scarlett? Absolutely nothing. What gets taken out on the side of Drogo is 3 carriers, 2 cannons, and almost a fleet beacon. And this base is honestly wide open. It should be defended better. We should have a full wall. We should have cannons behind it. Because otherwise Lings are just going to keep pumping into this base. That really is going to be an issue. Because Lings only cost minerals. Wait, what is this? Oh, I thought this was a Nidus or a really cool drop, but it wasn't. Instead, I think this was a Prism Templar drop, and it killed 3 drones. That is actually just not enough. That is too little, and it sucks. This has been a very long game. Resource loss is still heavily favoring Scarlett. Whoop! The dead Templar. Another Templar that was just patrolling the bushes. Classic Templar move. The longer this game goes, and the longer that there is no mothership, the more it upsets me, actually. I mean, at some point we just kind of gotta say that I guess Drogo doesn't believe in the mothership, and that would be a mistake. You should always believe in the mothership. Gosh, you're such a good unit. It's a niche unit that has one use, and that is cloaking the entire army. And boy, is it useful. It's one of the most useful things in the world. Full cloak. That's a nice setup that Scarlett went for. She kind of started initially with this area, right? Those 5 bases, and then set up this base, and from that point on out, boom. She was buzzing. Absolutely no chance anymore for Drogo. I still feel like Drogo still has a very solid army, but he hasn't won a fight. And he hasn't even looked close to winning a fight. He's looked pretty far away from winning a fight. Currently he has 14 carriers, 10 Void Rays, and 8 Templar. I'd almost feel like he should be giving up this left side base right now. I almost feel like it. Once again, Void Rays way too early over here. Scarlett seems to be very keen on picking off the sides of this army rather than going for the Void Rays in front. Oh. No. That's a very brave attempt there out of Drogo. Okay. Yeah, I'm not seeing it either here, Drogo. This is not a good sign, I think, if you're asking for a draw when both players still have, what, 25k resources in the bank. That's actually really stupid. But kind of hilariously stupid. I like that. It's a good try. It's a good try. If you want to force a draw at this point, it would be really difficult for one simple reason. It's too early. And the main reason is that you'd probably want to set up... Well, actually, you could just give up this area. But you're still mining from it, so you don't really want to. Like, you would need to set up in the main base, because that's where your production is. But the main base is not a great area to defend. You'd need to add in like 6, 7, 8 Tempest, and then just defend your Stargates with a mothership, with Tempest, with cannons, with batteries. And then I think eventually you probably could force a draw if you have mined everything out. You still have like 1 or 2 probes alive. You just add a bunch of batteries in the main. It would be really difficult for Scarlett to engage into that. I'm just gonna be real. I have a difficult time seeing how she would deal with that. I guess she could just continuously move around with Vipers, but with Tempest out and good Oracle management, it would just be difficult. It really would be. Nope. Double Revelations being cast here right now. That could have been knurled, actually. I think sometimes, as a Zerg player, you know, you're kind of waiting for a fungal, and then if the opportunity to knurl comes in, you're not mentally ready for it. I think that's what happened there. I mean, this Oracle should have been dead. Should have been knurled instantly, but instead, I think a semi-fungal got thrown their way. And that's not really cool. Viper army still kind of moving around. 38 Corruptors. Drogo also isn't really pretending like he wants a draw, you know? If you want a draw, you're camping near cannons. Drogo right now, like he still believes he's gonna be doing something with this army. He's the only one that truly believes in that still, I think, in this game. Scarlett has been mining a lot of gas. I'm a little bit disappointed by that. I really think she should kind of put the priority here on finishing this base, because it is a base that, if she were to lose a fight, could still die. Like, this is the one, like, that's why she doesn't want to fight. Why would Scarlett fight right now? There's no point. I'm not quite sure what her eventual plan is going to be, but right now she's the one that's still getting gas, which is the most important resource, and it's going to be the most important resource. So yeah, I don't really see a reason to fight at this moment, unless Drogo attacks into you, and then the moment this base is gone, you can start getting rid of some extra drones. You max out on 180, 190, maybe even 200 army supply, and from that point on out, you just start pushing creep across the map, start moving spores forward. We have a spore forest of 84 spores, 12 spines, still a couple of queens out, 64 creep tumors. We have 14 extractors plus 1, of course. I said plus 1. That's going to be this one, the Rich Vespine extractor. It counts as a different type of extractor. Very interesting and very fun. Woohoo! Ground armor level 3 finally about to finish up here for Drogo. I honestly don't really care about that though, but I'm glad it is about to finish up. Okay, here, this is a move. This is potentially a move. I like this. Actually, do I like this? Is no point. I mean, all of these bases are completely useless except for this one. So it's the only base that actually is interesting right now for Scarlett. Scarlett is gonna burst this down. I guess some gateways will die, or... I don't really get what the larger plan is here. Oh, changelings being sent in right now are going to perhaps catch a whiff of the type of army movement that we're seeing. Could allow these Corruptor Vipers to do anything, no? Vipers stay at home, Corruptors moving in, perhaps? I think there's potential here. Feels like maybe even the potential was missed. Oh! Look at this. This is a cool play. Maybe he's going to just pee on some of these buildings. Yep, there we go. The peeing is being set up over here. That means that some of this production might actually end up falling, and we still have some Corruptors on the side as well. Oh. Yeah. 3 Stalkers is all it took to really push this away. Don't want to lose too many Corruptors against this. Stalkers against Corruptors are really not that bad, especially well upgraded Stalkers. Do a decent chunk of damage. Scarlett not maxed out. Drogo is maxed out, but 26 workers. I mean, what are you mining? Oh, some minerals, I guess. That's only 10 workers. Could also get rid of 2 of them. Like, oh, assimilation complete. That's a free Templar right here. It's kind of nice, honestly. Hello, do we kill that? Thank you very much. It would be really sad if the Templar stays alive and feedbacks for investors. Die. It should be the most unfortunate thing in the world. Just the most unfortunate thing in the world. There we go. Run by squad is being set up again. And we have, ooh, the Templar Prism just flying around. This is another issue, is that once changelings come in and you don't spot one, if you have a mothership, it's not the biggest deal, but here, if a changeling comes in, you don't have a mothership, yeah, that kind of sucks. I think an Oracle just died. Still, Scarlett up, 16k supply. Oh, Templar moving in though, and, well, actually that wasn't all that great. Loses 3 Templar and merely manages to damage these infestors, which can be healed by the queens as well. We could have a tiny little march forward here too. Probes are being sacrificed right now. A lot of probes are being sacrificed. I think this is a mistake. I think whenever you're this late in the game and you have the time on your hands, you should always kill the workers manually. First of all, I think that's just the correct thing to do as an employer for such a long time. You know, if you're going to fire your workers, or in this case kill them, at least have the guts to do it yourself. Don't do some consultants, don't outsource this to some, you know, some brute lords over here. Just do it yourself, you know. Get going and take out those probes. And on top of that, it also has the added benefit that your opponent is not aware of the fact that you're going to be adding some more units into your squad. So they can kind of match your drone count at all times. And we immediately see 16 spores being constructed here. So Scarlett's like, okay, you're adding 30 supply into your army. I want to add at least 15 supply in my army. I still, of course, have some mining going, and that will continue for a little bit longer. But there kind of goes an advantage that perhaps you could have had. Drogo keen on moving in. Does have some Tempest right now. Would love to see the, what's it called? Tectonic destabilizers being researched, so you can actually start working on those spore forests as well. Really would not mind that whatsoever. Another carrier, another oracle. The thing with carriers is that it is nice to have a lot, especially if you're managing to snipe the Vipers, but at times it feels like that the difference between 11 carriers and 15 carriers just isn't all that big anymore. The moment you lose, if you have a 14 or a 13 or a 12 or 11 or a 10 carrier army, it's mainly going to be when a parasitic bomb is going to hit you straight in the face. It's not like the parasitic sniper 3. And they go for the loco maneuver, right? If they fly with the corruptors into the carriers, while there's a parasitic bomb active, the interceptors will automatically die to the parasitic bomb that's active on one of the carriers. It's one of the sickest moves invented by the Maga, but we decided to name it after Loco because he wants to do it in a ladder game. And this is really what Scarlett is waiting for, it's what Scarlett is looking for. Should slowly but surely try to maybe... Ooh, okay, this is someone... Wait, what? I think Drogo is completely misreading his position here. Oh, that was a flank and a half that didn't work. This is the first true error, I think, that I've seen Scarlett made in an engagement. It cost her some bailings, it cost her some links. Not the end of the world, though. So, the reason why I think that Drogo is misreading his position right now is because he believes he can do this. I don't believe he can do this. I definitely don't believe that he can do this. He can't push into his opponent right now and just start taking out spores with a battery wall. I actually think... I'm not sure if he has the cash to complete that mission, you know? I don't think he does. You're always going to need a mothership with this as well. It is completely vital. Because when you're defending near buildings, your Templar actually move in kind of a funky way, so you never want to let your opponent know where your Templar. It's so important, because otherwise they're always going to be stuck behind stuff. Your opponent sees it and they manage to go in. We had another couple of what did he just get? Oh, he got a prism. He got a prism killed out actually. Yeah. Losing the prism with 3 Templar and it kind of sucks usually. It's expensive. It's a lot of gas, and we're seeing that represented in the gas count. Overall, there's still 100 gas being mined at the same time. 350 gas in this extractor. Yeah. That's pain. That's actual pain. 46 minutes in. I mean, yeah, we do have the tectonic destabilizers on the way. There's a lot of Tempest. 5. Would love to see 7 though, or 8. Definitely need some oracles here. Uh-oh, 1 Tempest, 2 Tempest. No, that's going to be the Prism instead. That's a pretty big storm though. There's still 1 Parasitic Bomb that is available. Maybe there was even 2. I didn't see the other Viper either. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Ooh, Scarlett going for a Link drop. What is this? That's actually cool is what it is. I really hope she goes for it. Ooh, there's more. It wasn't just 3. Or it wasn't just 1, it's 3. Hello? Can you send them in? This is so exciting. Is she just gonna try to run them in? No, we want to see the Link drop. The 50-minute Link drop. Taking out the Stargates here would still be huge. That costs a lot of gas. That'd be half of the gas bank here for Drogo. He's never gonna be using. And all you'd spend here as Scarlett is just minerals on it. Scarlett, by the way, who isn't maxed out. The reason for that is because I don't think she knows what she wants to spend her cash on. Still some mineral patches here. Like 600, 700, 800 minerals maybe? No, a little bit more actually. Like 12, 1300 maybe. Not bad. Nexus is being rebuilt. I mean, this position is completely pointless as well. Because eventually Scarlett is just going to run around with spores and creep, right? And she still has so far to back off to. She can even make an aggressive move with spores here. So this is always going to die if you're not continuously attacking. I think at this point, actually, Drogo should be playing for a draw. I think this is the timing here. Oh, he loses another one of them. Carriers to the Corruptor Viper Squad. This is the point where Drogo should actually say, okay, I've lost so many fights. I've lost so many single interactions. I need to try and play for a draw. And it's going to be hard because there's a crap ton of spores. There's a lot of money in the bank still for Scarlett. So Scarlett can actually throw some resources against the problem. But yeah, I truly believe that just massing batteries at this point and sitting back with Tempest, Mothership, Carrier, Void Ray, Templar, Oracle is going to be the one solution. And then asking just for a new draw, of course. This is a really good drop. This is such a sick drop, actually. I love this one. I really, really do love this one. Yes, they could have just walked in towards the main base, all of them links, but this is way cooler. Oh, there goes a carrier down the drain. Drogo is probably going to get tempted to try and fight this, at least for a little bit. A lot of these links, though, dealing a crap ton of damage. It's not the end of the world right now if you're losing 2-3 Stargates, but it's definitely a start. The start of the end of the world, you know? This is just pure links here that Scarlett is losing. She can even save them in the Overlords as well. Oh my god, that's exactly what's happening here. As this single Ling and Baneling are going to sacrifice their life for the Swarm. More spores are on the way. These drops are going to be sent back home, and the Broodlords move towards the left side. And now it would be a very good time to push some of these spores a little bit forward. Just move up on the map, move up in the world. Look at this! Scarlett 167 supply right now. Still has about 35 supply empty. Not sure what to do with it. Could be what, like 17 investors or so? That would be a sick move. Could also not be 17 investors. Finally, our first Mothership, 50 minutes into the game. Okay, this feels like Drogo should be setting up for a draw right now. He's getting 1 battery in the main. That's surely not going to be enough. Moving forward. Oh, double abductor, triple abducts, my apologies. 1 Void Ray, 1 Oracle will die, 1 Void Ray gets to escape. There's not many Void Rays that manage to escape the tongue of the Viper. This guy did it. 21 kills on that Void. A lot of that's just going to be creep tumors, by the way. Looks like an impressive army, but yeah, this is all just creep tumors, I think. How many creep tumors have gone down here this game? 254. 381 links. Yeah. The most lost thing in this game is almost a creep tumor. It's in second place, just barely behind the Ling. That's so funny. It's not uncommon, I guess, when that happens, but it's a lot of creep tumors that have been killed. A lot of creep tumors that have been killed. Once again, perhaps setting up. Yep, there we go. For a little bit of a drop here. I really like that. I think this is such a good call. I do believe that while this is going on, we should see some movement in the spores. You know, you send in like maybe 16, 18 lings. You know, you could go for an actual kill on all of these Stargates, but you could also use it as a distraction. There's two ways to use this tool. Right now it's being used as an actual kill on the Stargates. It's just not going to work though. But I think instead of that, it should be used more as a tool to move up the spores. Single time you pretend to go into the main base, or you actually do go into the main base, you can move the spores up a little bit. And once you can get up this ramp, that would be a huge deal, of course. If you're there with, what, 15, 16 spores, you have this area secured as well. Creep is being continuously spread. I kind of like Scarlett's position here. Just kind of gonna choke Drogo out, and there's nothing that Drogo can do but tap eventually, I think. 4 more drones are on the way. I'm not so sure what these... Oh! Would you look at that? Some long distance mining going on over here on this base. Oh. I heard a unit being grabbed by an infestor. Is that a global thing? When your army is being taken over, do you always hear that, no matter where you are? I think that might just be the case. I didn't really realize, though. No vision of the... Wait, there, the mothership. Where are you? Oh, it's just chilling back in the main base. Oh, this is a really cool move out of Drogo. This is a move I actually appreciate as well. So he's going in right now because he has the safety back up. Uh-oh. Oh, lots of feedback going down. Scarlett with a sick infestor play there. Knurling that one Templar. Taking out 3-4 Templar at the same time. Parasitic Bomb coming in as well. Drogo felt so safe with that recall in the back, but right now doesn't feel so safe anymore. I don't think so. Losing absolutely everything. He's building 9 Void Rays at once. What an insane fight here for Scarlett. 72,000 against 41,000 resources lost. Drogo getting completely destroyed here. Brood Lords moving into an area where, well, I guess they can. I was going to say perhaps they shouldn't, but they definitely can. 31 more Corruptors are on the way. These Corruptors by themselves probably are not going to be enough to deal. No, actually they are. They are just going to be enough. Tempest will get blasted here. Where are the Overseers? The Overseers... are all over here. There's 17 Overseers still alive. Ultras did not really join in on the fun. There is 22 Corruptors, and there's only 5 Void Rays. And the Broodlings are the Broodlings are just taking out absolutely everything. This game is completely over. After an attempted draw out of Drogo, he kind of gave up on that plan. Taps out. GG. Scarlett wins this game here on Data C. A very long and a very slow late game, and I think we can all be happy that this isn't the current state of Protoss vs. Zerg StarCraft 2 anymore. While it was a little over a year ago, this was a more common occurrence. Now it's a nice freak game. Then we get the cast, but never again, my friends. Never again. Alright, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy this. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Bye-bye.